Compassion is defined as the feeling that arises when you're confronted with another's suffering and feel motivated to relieve that suffering. It is what happens after empathy. Bob Thurman, an American Buddhist author and academic, said, until you have real compassion, you cannot recognize love. In our last episode, we answered the question, how compassionate are you with yourself? And we shared 3 tips on how to be compassionate with self. Our takeaways were, be aware and be comfortable with your past experiences, good or bad. Choose to be truthful to yourself. We were talking about vulnerability. Self-audit yourself on specific areas. Hi, this is Clarity Coach Lucy. It is a month of love, and our first 2 episodes of the month were throwback episodes on grief and loss. You see, you have to have loved to experience grief and loss, because without loving, you cannot experience grief and loss. The episodes also included rejection. You have to have had to experience rejection. You have to have been somewhere, and in experiencing something, of being alive in that moment, to be able to experience rejection. You have to have put yourself out somewhere so that you could experience, to be able to experience rejection. Now, we are in the Compassion series, and part 1 was about self. In this episode, we seek to understand how to be compassionate with others and hopefully sustain love. And of course, we always have questions. And today's questions are there for you to help you be able to go through this session and perhaps have an inner sight as to what you need to know. The questions are, have you paid your social debt? And is compassion a social debt? These questions are deep. They may sound very simple, but they are deep. They allow you to go back to what you perceive as things that have been done unto you on matters compassion. Have you been shown compassion? How long ago was it? Was it 5 minutes ago? Are you experiencing it right now? Was it in the past? Is it a social debt? It begs the question, is compassion a social act? I would love to hear your answers, and I'm just going to check that indeed we are live. And just to recognize that we have it here on Facebook, because we are streaming live on Facebook from YouTube. And yes, we are live. We are live. And thank you so much for joining this episode of Tuesday Talks at 3, where we are celebrating the month of love, and we are into episode 2 of Compassion and Love. As I said last week, we already covered Compassion Part 1, where we're talking about self. We are really kind-hearted. We tend to be social beings who are compassionate to others. We even speak about it and say, I am a compassionate person. When someone is describing themselves and you're asked, can you give us a value that you really feel the worth in your life, where you apply yourself, how you would define yourself? And somebody comes back and tells you, I am compassionate. And indeed they are. The question is, are they compassionate with self? And please get onto YouTube for the recording of our last episode, which is Compassion Part 1. So the questions today are twofold. Have you paid your social debt? And is compassion a social debt? Welcome, Nancy. Great to see you here. Great to have you on the session today. Let us interact and pay tribute to the month of love with compassion and love. So what does it all mean? Social debt. What does it mean? We are social beings, like I said, and we want to be seen. We want to be loved. We want to be understood. We want to be appreciated. We have this basic need to be seen. We just have it. And therefore, we expect it out there in the world. And we get beaten up when we don't experience compassion. This is what compassion is, and expectations out there. Is it a social act? Oh, I see here that Sheila, welcome Sheila. Compassion, she says, is an aspect of social debt. What an unexpected subject. I am here ready to learn, Lucy. Thank you so much, Sheila. And it's good to have you. Thank you so much for being a fan of Tuesday Talks at 3 and showing up every Tuesday without fail. This particular platform is all about self-development. And I'd love to hear back from you. What would you want to hear more of? So back to compassion. Is it a social debt? And what does it mean? So in a perfect situation, and let's say a perfect society, we would do unto others this compassion. As we discussed in our last episode, we will be coming from a place of compassion ourselves, because you can only give that you have. So if you practice on the giveaways that we shared in our first episode, and I'm happy to share them again with you, for you to be compassionate with self, here are some takeaways, some tips. Be aware and be comfortable with your past experience. Your past experience, whether good or bad. Let's talk about bad for a second. If you had trauma, if you had a bad experience, if you failed at something, if you lost something, the tendency is to beat yourself up. You beat yourself up, you go into depression, you stress yourself. Even though stress is a very important aspect of life and it is normal, we overstress, we overthink because of something horrible, terrible, something sad that happened in our lives, something traumatic. Now, this is in the past. There's really nothing you can do about it. You can do something about the here and the now. So tips on being compassionate will include that you are aware of that past and you are comfortable with it. You're being kind to yourself. You're being gentle to yourself. You're cutting yourself some slack. It's as simple as that. The second takeaway was about vulnerability, in that you want to choose to be truthful to self. You can lie to the entire world. You can create this persona that the entire world needs to see. You can check that box. But there's one box that you need to be able to be truthful about, and that is the box to self, the vulnerability box. When you're checking that box, be truthful to yourself. Who am I? Am I comfortable with who I am? How do I treat myself? What language do I use when I'm referring to self? How do I feel about self? My gut feeling. What does it mean to me to have that kind of feelings to self, that vulnerability? And we've got more of these in my coaching sessions, and I'm running them right now, group sessions. If you're interested, you can always direct message me. You can come, you plus 4 other people, and we can have these great discussions. It's 6 sessions. It's 50,000 shillings. That is the value of those 6 sessions. And we have 45 minutes at each session. And we talk about being truthful to self, self-development. And the third tip is about self-audit. You must audit yourself on specific areas. I can help you identify what these specific areas are so that you can audit yourself. How are you doing? You need to check in. If you were in school, you'd be doing a continuous assessment test, a CAT, and finally you would do an exam. So I would like to look at these self-audits as CATs, continuous assessment tests, just so that you can know where you are, gauge where you need to work a bit more on, where you know you are doing well, and just keep your eye on that ball so that you do not drop it, because some balls, when they are dropped, they break. And when these balls break, man, we are in trouble. So that was just us looking at what we did in our last episode and just coming from that place. Now, that kind of person who has been truthful to self, who's aware of self, and who has been making some checks and balances is someone who can pour out compassion out there to whoever needs it. Remember, our definition of compassion is, it is defined as a feeling that arises when you're confronted with another's suffering and you feel motivated to relieve that suffering. How do you do that if you have not even experienced it yourself? How do you do that if you've not even done it unto self? So a social debt, in my opinion, is the act of giving back. A social debt, in my opinion, is the act of giving back. And I'm just looking at our thread here. I'm not seeing any more shares. I do hope that you're in agreement with me that a social debt is an act of giving back. That's a social debt. No, but where would you start from, you'd ask me? Lucy, where do I start from? How do I give back on matters compassion? Well, only you can answer this question. Only you know where you can start from. Only you know what your eyes are seeing and your heart wants to relieve somebody of or a situation of. All I ask you is to be intentional, but I encourage you to pay it forward. Paying it forward means being kind to someone else. For instance, if you received a kind gesture and you want to pay it forward, you're not going, you've said thank you, you've paid your tribute of gratitude to the individual who gave you this kind gesture or helped you out, or sorted you out at a time when you really needed it. Emotionally, they sorted you out. Financially, they sorted you out. From a way of support, they sorted you out. And you said thank you from the bottom of your heart. Paying it forward means that you look out for an opportunity where you can do the same unto somebody else. So why don't you choose compassion? It is a way to pay your social debt. Let's pay it forward. I was having a conversation with a colleague the other day, and she was full of gratitude for the compassion that she had received during the pandemic when she felt her sky had fallen. For her, it was literally the end of the world. She had to exit her home. She had to exit her place of work. She felt the sky had really fallen on her head. However, what surprised her, what enriched her life, what really got her from those dungeons of feeling the sky had fallen on her head was a group of people, random people who came and helped her. They helped her during this time. They showed compassion. And in their show of compassion, they housed her. They financed her. They supported her with what she needed. She was so full of gratitude. And today she's paying her social debt in her special way. So I do say that where you start from is personal. Choose a situation that you're in. Maybe it's not the trauma of the pandemic. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you're coming from depression. This is where you're at. But around you, you feel support. You feel people are visiting you. People are checking in on you. You know it. Even in the depth of that depression, you know. I have been through depression, so I do know what I'm talking about. I do know that in that depth, you can hear and see people reaching out. The choice is yours, whether you want to extend your hand so that someone can pull you out. It's a deep dungeon in there, guys. I've been there. What you want to do is look up, look towards the light, look towards those helping hands, and trust that someone is helping you from a point of authenticity, of integrity. Because this is one of the ways that you can come out from your depression. Respond with love and compassion to those who are reaching out to you when we're talking matters depression. So only you know where you're at right now, and only you know where to start from. Well, just like the friend I was talking to, choose how you're going to pay your social debt. She's paying her social debt in a special way, but she's paying it. That is what matters. Let me see if there was something else. Yes, Nancy says, I agree that a social debt is an act of giving back. Thank you so much, Nancy. This is powerful. I mean, when you consider what paying forward can do, if you pay forward today, Nancy, you pay forward today, Sheila, and you're paying with acts of kindness, and then those people pay it forward, how powerful is this? Let's talk about random acts. So in celebration of this month of love, I encouraged my clients during my life coaching sessions and the audience that I have on my different platforms to pick 5 people to practice compassion on. Now, this person could be a total stranger, or this person could be somebody that you know. Whatever it is, I asked them to pick 5 people and to report back at the end of this month that we're celebrating the month of love. Because at times you may ask, how do I do this practically? Well, there you go. Random acts of kindness. So you need to be intentional by deciding on what to do. And one example that I gave was listening to understand. And the reason I give listening to understand is because as social beings, we are so conditioned to listen and form an answer. And therefore, as we form the answer, we're not in total presence. We're not 100% with the individual who's sharing with us. We are forming an answer, we're getting distracted, and we're getting distracted by so many things. However, if you intentionally listen to understand, it is powerful, guys. I use this in my trainings, and we do exercises in just learning how to listen. There's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, because God intended us to listen more than it is to speak. Powerful right there. Then you need to journal the names and the intentions. And this is what I asked. You need to journal the names of the people and the intentions that you have. One of them is just listening to understand. So these random acts, you're asking what they are. It's just practicing acts of kindness. And you can do that here and now. Just acts of kindness. Wherever it is you are, somebody who is around you, do something for them without expecting anything in return. Would you choose to do this to a stranger? Well, if the answer is yes, you want to be careful how you reach out to this stranger, because we are not trusting. Are in a very tough situation. And in being in that tough situation, they feel alone, but you're looking at it and you're seeing it. And in you seeing it and you want to relieve it, you're exercising compassion. Let's see if we've got anybody else commenting. Juliana, great to see you here. Powerful social debt. Exactly. Maria and Jerry, Maria and Jerry, welcome back. I wondered where you had gone. You say, I'm so glad to be joining you again. I truly value this insightful session. Karibu sana, Maria, great to see you back here. Okay, so we are looking at this social debt, and I'll just go back again to the little things that I asked my clients to do when I do my coaching. Your random acts would be pick 5 people to practice compassion on. Be intentional. So I want you to journal who these people are, and I want you to journal the intention so you can measure it at the end of the day. Measure these acts of kindness because they really work. Another thing is smiling. You know, the power of a smile is something else. Do not underestimate the power of a smile. Imagine for this moment that we were in a room. We were not on this virtual. I mean, I'm smiling. I smile all the time. This is my superpower. And this is what I always do. I smile. And people keep on asking, where do you get this energy to smile all the time, Lucy? It's an intention. Until now, it has become a habit. It is part of me. But back to how we are as social beings. When you smile, you're actually communicating warmth. You're communicating friendship. This is what you want to do in the social networks that you are in. Smile. And even if somebody cannot see you and they're only hearing you, because you're smiling as you're speaking, listen to this. Because you're smiling and you're speaking, somebody can actually see your smile or hear your smile or feel your smile. They actually have the effects of the smile. Here you go, compassion, and it is a social act. Already smiling, we are sharing compassion. Then there's the power of words. We want to be able to use words to build people up, to adjust a crown, so to speak, to support people, because your words will change somebody else's life. I know it sounds very cliche that when I say someone, it could change somebody else's life, but you don't know. So why don't you just choose to use your words powerfully to be able to just touch other people? So choose to make it positive, inspiring, and motivating. So what is your superpower, guys? Mine is my smile. What do you think is your superpower when it comes to matters, compassion, and love? Things that you can pay back with. I mean, just this morning, I had a powerful session mentoring students, and I was taking them through a topic that would help them so much as they transition into the workplace. And throughout it, I was smiling, I was delivering, I was choosing the positive words to be able to send this message across. And these young adults were impacted. I could tell that because of their feedback, their response, how they were speaking back to me. how they were engaging, how they were asking questions. And so as you seek clarity on how you can perform your social debt of compassion and love in your social networks, think about the things you do every day. Think about the things you receive every day. But for this moment, I would like you to just pause and think about what kind of situation you would be moved to relieve. Remember, we're talking compassion. And as we are talking compassion, we have two questions today. Have you paid your social debt? Is compassion a social debt? These are the two questions that we are working from. So as you think about this, you're thinking about compassion and love, what kind of situation would you like to fix? Maybe relieve is not the word you want to use. What kind of situation would you like to fix? I've just talked about mentoring the youth this morning. So could it be mentoring for you and coaching for whatever topic that is that you want to discuss, that you want to fix, that you want to relieve? What is it for you? Pick it, understand it, embrace it, because once you name it, you definitely tame it. Now go forth and mentor or coach. Perhaps it is your physical presence that is needed, just to be there for somebody. You'll be amazed what physical presence does for somebody who's going through loss, who's going through rejection, who's going through grieving, somebody who is experiencing confusion, somebody who is ill. Presence. Very hard for us to keep quiet and just be present. We want to be able to talk and engage. But when you're intentional about this, you can be quiet and just give your presence as a gift of compassion and love to this individual. It could be lending a hand. You could be walking in somewhere and you can see a situation needs to be assisted and you start lending a hand, whatever lending a hand means. It could be financial and you are in a position to help financially. Maybe that's what it is and you are blessed to help financially. Maybe it's time and somebody needs your time. Step in there and be able to offer your time to fix a situation, to elevate a situation. Well, we're getting warmer now as to how you can be able to deliver this social debt and pay it off. Of course, we are hoping that you don't pay it off 100% because compassion and love is what the world needs right now. Well, let's just move a little bit further as you take this moment and consider that situation. Let us go personal now. And let's come back to you, to self. Think of a time when you could have used some help. Just think of a time when you could have used some help, whether you want to close your eyes for a moment there, whether you want to take a moment, breathe in and breathe out. Center yourself and think of a time that you could have used some help. Maybe you didn't want to ask, but you could have used some help. We are like that, right? We find it hard in some instances to ask for help, but we know we need it. What kind of help was it? And did you get it? How did it make you feel when you got it? How did it make you feel? I want you to tap into your emotional experiences of how it made you feel and think of words that come to your mind. That when I needed help and I got it, I felt liberated, I felt uplifted, or did I feel loved, understood, appreciated? Did I feel important, relevant? What words come to you when you tap into those emotional experiences? Because we are social beings, but we are emotional beings. The first thing that comes is an emotion before even our mind thinks. Because when you tap into emotional experiences, this is authentic and it is sustainable. You can't fake that one. If you tap into your emotions, that is the real you. You want to move into the authentic self. And I do have a YouTube session episode on the authentic self. And all you need to do is go into my YouTube platform and look for the authentic self. It really helps when you are coming from a place of integrity of self. Now, if we go back and we think about that time when we needed help and we got it and what kind of help it was and how did we feel, I want us now to look at the opposite, that you did not receive that help. You knew the kind of help you needed. Maybe you didn't, but then you did not receive that help. How did it make you feel? Were you lonely? Did you feel rejected? Did you feel that you're not worth it? These are sad things to feel. It's heavy on the heart. But this is how people feel when you hold back compassion and love. So please go forth, pay it forward, pay your social debt. Let people experience compassion. Don't allow the society to feel lonely, alone, rejected, unworthy. You are coming from a powerful place because you are compassion and you are love. It is so important for you to give this. And I say you are compassion, you are love. We are celebrating the month of love. So I want you to repeat after me as we open up ourselves to receive compassion and love and also to give it up. Repeat after me. I am compassion. And again, I am compassion. One last time. I am compassion. I am love. I am love. And one last time, repeat after me. I am love. And I say resounding yes. You are worthy of compassion and love because you are compassion and you are love. So how are you feeling now? How are you feeling? Maria and Jerry, you come back and you say, my superpower is my smile. Welcome to the club, Maria and Jerry. So good to know I've got somebody else on the call who has the same superpower as me. Claim it. It is yours. So back to this. How are you feeling now that you know you're worthy of compassion and love? How does it make you feel? Tap into it. Pay it forward. Share that compassion and love that you gave yourself, that you have received from others. And let compassion and love go viral. Let compassion and love go viral. So with how you're feeling right now and how you're going to pay it forward and that you're sharing it, this compassion and love that you gave yourself, that you have received from others, and you're letting this compassion and love go viral, you may ask, Lucy, how will we communicate our compassion and love? How do we communicate it? Remember that as you open up yourself, I gave you the example of depression. You are in a deep dungeon of darkness and you want to come out to where the light is. You need to choose to believe that everyone has a good intention. I know this may not be the case, but it is your choice. If you choose to believe that everyone has a good intention, guess what? This is what is going to surround itself around you. This is what you're going to experience. People with good intention, this is what you're going to see. And even if somebody comes to you with an ill intention, with a bad intention, they will see that you believe in their good intention. And guess what? You already convert them. So choose to believe that everyone has a good intention. Take the negativity out of your life. Take the toxic messages out of your life and just choose to believe that everyone has a good intention. Try this. It actually elevates you and liberates you. Secondly, choose to receive compassion and love by trusting this intention. So in whatever they're doing, you want to be able to see compassion and love. Hey, we are celebrating the month of love as we bring February to the end. And we are choosing compassion and love because these are two things, two values that are needed in the world today. We continue to suffer every day. We can choose to stay in the suffering, or we can choose to rise up. So is compassion a social debt? I do hope that you are all in agreement with me, and that it is, and that we must pay it forward. Thank you, Nancy. Hashtag compassion and love. I love it. Let it go viral. In everything that you do today, tomorrow, until the end of February, let's go with Nancy's hashtag compassion and love, and let's share it to the world. Let it go viral because we need it. Not only in the month of love, but we need it as an act in society, to society, every day of our lives. And as we come to the end of our session, you know that I cannot leave you without takeaways. So how do you pay your social debt? We said you pay it forward with random acts of kindness. All the best, guys. I hope you've got 5 names already that you have written down. You already have written down the intention of how you're going to do this, and you're going to carry out in this week. So by the time you're ending February, you know that you have contributed to, as Nancy puts it, hashtag compassion and love. The second takeaway is tap into your emotional experiences. Go back and imagine a time when you needed help and how it is you felt when you received it, and also how you felt when you did not receive it. And you want to be able to pick the positivity out of that and pay it forward. Ensure that every time you tap into these emotional experiences, you're able to use them to pay your social debt from a point of authenticity, because this way it is sustainable, it lasts long, it's got a long shelf life. The third one is be open to receiving compassion and love. Do not block yourself. Trust that everybody has a good intention, because when you receive compassion and love, you actually become taller. You actually breathe in all this beauty of the world. And guess what? You are part of it. So there you have it, your 3 special takeaways on how to pay your social debt. Thank you so much for celebrating the month of love with me in these 4 episodes. I am so honored to have you show up week after week on Tuesday Talks at 3, keeping me company here. So you can see how I'm feeling. I'm feeling excited. I'm not lonely. You are sharing compassion and love with me. My hashtag for this week, for this month, has been sharing mapenzi. And every post that you will see on my social media has been about sharing mapenzi. I do hope that you will share love as you continue. And I love what Nancy, I'm borrowing this. Hashtag compassion and love is amazing. Radia, hello, Radia. You say, thank you, Coach Lucy. I'm always and forever grateful. Be open to receiving compassion spoke to me. Thank you so much, Radia, for showing up. I appreciate you. Definitely, we need to be open. If we open up, we will receive. Let us not block ourselves to receive compassion and love. When we fill ourselves with compassion and love, we can pour from that cup. Well, new beginnings are on the horizon. March is here, and we will seek to understand the important role emotional intelligence plays in our lives. We hear so much about the intelligence that we are supposed to be looking at, the intelligence factor that we're supposed to be looking at. And here we're talking about emotional intelligence. Again, an opportunity for everybody to improve their lives. That's what LMC is all about, helping to build one another. In the meantime, remember to like our Facebook page and receive regular updates of these scheduled talks. I have already published my book, which is called The Awakening Self, and you can find it on Amazon platform, both in Kindle version and in paperback. Thank you so much, Juliana. You say great presentation. Thank you, Lucy, for pouring your heart out. Thank you so much, Daktari. Good to have you here. And we would like more and more people to join us on Tuesday Talks at 3. Visit our website, on lmcconsultancy.com and get more information as to the events that we are holding, as to the trainings that we have, as to the coaching facilities that we can offer you. So all our services are there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have over 50 recordings there that you can go through and pick what will touch you most. And I'd love to hear back from you. The YouTube channel is LMC Consultancy. Hit the notification button for prompts on new videos. Like, share, and let us go viral. As I said, I do hope that you will be able to get my book on the Amazon platform. Again, the name of the book is Awakening Self. If you were unable to get onto Amazon, just go onto Google my name, and Awakening Self will come up as an option for Amazon. So as I say in parting, let us help build one another. And until our next episode, when we'll be looking at the importance of emotional intelligence, please be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.